Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Spellweaver video. My name is Boltor, and today we're going to be taking a look at a deck centered around one of the new heroes that came out last week. Hermelion, probably butchered that name, Hermelion? Whatever. It's Hand of Justice, he's Angel Dude. His power, ready all allied creatures and heal all damage from them, and basically restart your turn for 3 mana, means that you basically get to attack twice in a single turn. So this deck is a little different from what you might usually expect to come out of a Hermelion deck, which is, you know, swarm the board with a whole bunch of little dudes, kind of like a soldier deck, and, you know, swing for massive amounts of damage. This deck is a little bit more mid-rangey, and it pretty much seeks to abuse cards like Ancient Treant and Fae of Charm to get their ability twice during a single turn. It also has a really fun combo that you guys, anyone who saw my game or my games against the Fuzz on his channel, saw that having being able to play Instill Life to bring back 2 Fae of Charms can really just turn the game around in your favor, especially when you get to do or attack twice. I believe on that video I pulled off the combo and swung for 17 damage in a single turn. So that's kind of the idea of this deck. It's a little combo-y, it's a little mid-rangey, it's kind of designed to win in a single turn, but it is a little iffy. I have been having some kind of some mixed success with it, but I think I've finally figured out how best to play the deck. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to dive into some games here. For those of you who saw my update, I just got back from a family vacation. It was loads of fun, had a great time. Felt a little sick Sunday night when I came home and the following Monday, but I'm feeling great now. I'm feeling all sorts of better, so I'm here to sit down and start recording some videos. I am still looking for more decks with the new heroes to come out. I've heard that there are just a handful of decks, like 3 or 4 decks that are really just running rampant all over the place. But again, family vacation, I've got other family plans later this week, so I haven't exactly had time to dive into the meta of Spellweaver lately. So if anyone can send me decks saying, hey, this is a deck I see all over the place, it's really kicking ass, you know, send me the link. Oh, here we go. Alright. So, Chow IZ. I really like this hand. I really like having the Dwarf Musketeer in my opening hand, but I don't really like having anything. Well, no. One of the best openers. Alright, that's not bad. One of the best openers you can have with this deck is a Dwarf Musketeer and a Word of Vigor. Because Word of Vigor basically acts like, or basically turns the Dwarf Musketeer into a Shadow Step Assassin. Alright, so he's going to get rid of my Ambushing Strike, probably. I don't see him getting rid of my Instill Life, although he might think, yep, okay. I was to say, he might think, oh, this guy's going to be super combo. Let me get rid of that. But what's good is we won't really have much to worry about. So having or being able to put at least 1 might counter on this guy turns him into a real threat. So he's playing Wisdom Dominion with Advanced Despina. So we are gonna hold on to our Venerated Unicorn. I think we're gonna send back the Ambush Strike because we just don't really need it right now. We need shrines. We need to build our mana base. Venerated Unicorn's going to be really good if he plays Vampirism, if he plays Implants, if he plays Lamp. Well, he won't be playing Lamp for a number of turns, but either way, it's going to be really good for us. Play this for mana. We got to save the Nature Shrine for the 2nd level to play Fae of Charms and Ancient Treant. So swing for 3. You definitely don't want to wait for the combo to hit, you know what I mean? You definitely want to be poking in for damage in the early game. As you know, if you can get damage, it's absolutely essential that you do. He goes for the double wisdom as opposed to the double, goes for the double wisdom instead of the double order, which tells me he's probably hoping to play maybe Storm. So we're going to swing in for 8, thanks toward a Vigor. And next turn, if he doesn't clear this, and he doesn't play anything that we have to, you know, clear, then Tireless March just wins us the game. So sometimes you need a whole bunch of board in order to win the game. Sometimes you don't. Well, Lord Karthos sucks, but there we go. That's kind of what I was looking for. So we are going to attack for 4. Is he going to block? He's going to block. Ambushing Strike. And then Instill Life. Gets us 2 creatures back. He's still too far off of playing, he could have another Karthos, but he's too far from playing, he's too far from playing, what's it called? Well, I think we just play dudes on this turn. So we'll trade away his Karthos and swing in for 2. Alright. So Karthos sucked, but we're probably playing straight into a Cataclysm, but he's still 1 turn away from playing it. So we'll just see what happens. We are not in a good position because if we attack, he blocks here and then he steals the our well, I guess this is just the best thing we can do. Let's just swing in for 3. If we had swung in with our Dwarf Musketeer, then he would have blocked and killed one of our Musketeers. And at least at this point, if he uses a Cataclysm here, then well, let me put it this way: he might not use Cataclysm here because he's got a creature on board. Silencer. Well, that kind of screws us up, doesn't it? Can't even play the yep. Can't even play the Venerated Unicorn to can't even play the Venerated Unicorn to kill it. So I guess we've just got to win with what's on board, though if he Cataclysms us, the game's pretty much over. Alright, Library Guards. He's digging for that Cataclysm, we all know he is. I think this game's just kind of done. I mean, we'll see what we draw, but yeah. So we lose game 1, but we'll see what happens in game 2. So we would have had that game, I don't doubt it, if he didn't have back-to-back Karthos. So, but I mean, you kind of got to see what the deck does. It has a strong early game, kind of transitions into the mid game, and tries to just win through burst damage in the late game. it can kind of sustain and just play like a regular mid-range deck, but it has a lot of trouble winning that way because your win condition really is to you know, abuse the hero power. So I really like having these two in hand, but not with one shrine, so we've got to draw again. So, alright. Let's see what he plays if he has a 1-drop. Sucocious. I don't do names, you guys know that. We can send back one of the Ray of Righteousness and get no shrine. It's just one of those days, right? So let's start off with the aggressive Dwarf Musketeer. He's probably got the Assassinate for it, which means this was a huge misplay, but well, that's an interesting card. Alright, let's send back an Ancient Treant, and thankfully we, well, I don't get the shrine I wanted, but we get a shrine. You pretty much never need, no, you absolutely never need double order in this deck, but we'll go double order if, we'll go double order to play the Elite Vanguard if we want, in order to stay on curve. So, what's he got? 3 mana, could be 4. Power Seeker. And an Assassinate. Yep, we knew the Assassinate was coming. So, alright. That Power Seeker's never going to be big enough on my turn, so I think I can get rid of the Ray of Righteousness. There's a Nature Shrine. Alright. So, we play the Nature Shrine, we play the Elite Vanguard. If he wants to pump this up to kill my Vanguard, then he's got to pretty much use his entire turn for that. And then next turn, if we draw another Nature Shrine, we can play the Ancient Treant, and then following turn play the Fey of Charm. And well, we'll see what. The unfortunate part is this deck has absolutely no way to deal with back row creatures. So he's going to use up pretty much all his mana to kill our Vanguard. He could have 2 mana Assassinate. Now he refills his mana and plays a 4/4. This is just one of those times where the deck is just going to kind of, or the game is just going to get away from us. So if we play the Treant, if I play the Treant, it just dies. If I play the Fey of Charms, I can steal the 4/4, but I get in for 6 damage, but it doesn't really accomplish anything. So I'm going to play this for mana, see what we draw. There's a Vanguard. I'm going to play the Captain, speed boost this, and kill off his Power Seeker. Basically, I don't want to see him. I don't want him to be pumping up. Hit that every turn. So what's he got for 5 mana? 6 mana. I think one of the major weaknesses of this deck, and any deck moving forward with in Spellweaver, is going to be an inability to deal with support line creatures. Disciple, Moon Priestess, all very powerful creatures that I feel are going to kind of dictate whether or not you stay alive very often, just because of the fact that if you can't deal with them, they can just kind of let the help your opponent run away with the game. Anyone who watched my game against the Fuzz knows how effective those Disciples of Zash were. So I'm going to send back the Entrail because we are absolutely light years away from playing it or playing her. So let me see, if I steal the 7/7 and attack with it. Oh wait, can she not? I can't remember if they changed it so that you can use Well, I think going Fae of Charms, steal the 7/7, swing in for 9, and then next turn being able to do that twice is probably my only means of winning right now. So I think this is my only chance to win, because if if Fae manages to dodge the dodge and assassinate, then I can steal whichever one of these two creatures is bigger and swing in for extra damage, especially if I top an ambushing strike or a word of vigor. Oh, I forgot about the grappling hook. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Yup. I need to top another... Well, even if I top another Fae of Charms, I don't even think it'll do anything. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot that he had grappling hook on the experiment. Well, no, I don't even know what I can top right now. Tornado Outbreak might actually save me. So let's see here. So, play the Treant. Tornado Outbreak that guy. Let's see. 5. Yeah. I have to attack here if I want to hope to win next turn. Well, we have to we have to dodge him getting an implant that makes him big enough to kill the Ancient Treant, and of course we don't. Hopefully he just gets greedy here. I mean, he's got the overcharge, but hopefully he gets greedy and swings for my face. That's all we can hope for right now. Nope, no greed. I guess, again, now we're hoping for Fae of Charms top deck. Unless he's going to replay the Titan. So, and a Bloodborne Prince. So, what do we get? Ooh, an Instill Life. Alright, can we do anything with that Instill Life? You can get... We get the Fae Charms, we can take the 4/5. Right, that's a 4/5, right? I'm not reading that wrong? Okay. We get the 4/5. We can swing in for 6 if he doesn't block. But then we're taking 9. You'd only need to find 3 more damage. But you can grab something for blocks. So let's get... Unfortunately, if we take the Fae of Charms is kind of a one-off, because if we take Fae of Charms, then he's just going to grappling hook it. But if we leave some creatures for blocks, then maybe we can get something through. So we're definitely going to take the Fae, and I think we just take the Vanguard because it's the biggest creature. And we play the other Vanguard. So here we're going to attack, get the Fae of Charm trigger. We'll take the 4/4 because he can't block with the 4/5, and if we take the 4/5, he can block with the 4/4. Now he's probably just going to block with the Bloodborne Prince. No, wow. He must be confident he's got lethal this turn. Unfortunately, if we had one more mana, we could if we had one more mana this turn, we could have Tireless Marched and gotten and won the game. But he's probably going to grappling hook the Fae and kill it. But we'll see exactly what he's got here. If he's got, oh man, if he's got an assassin. Well, what's really funny, guys, is if we don't die this turn, then Cavalry Field Captain plus Tireless March just wins us the game. So at least there's that. He might not even realize that that wins me the game. he doesn't have a fast enough creature to block Cavalry Field Captain. So, I mean, if he doesn't have an Assassinate to kill it, then we might just win. You know? We might actually just win. I think that's going to be lethal. I think that's enough to kill me. It's all going to depend on how he attacks. Oh, I'm positive that's going to be enough to kill me now. Refills his mana. What's he going to play? Does he have another Implant? Or does he have an Assassinate? Okay, buddy, you refilled your mana. What you got? So let's see. Oh, he heals. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about the fact that he heals off the Bloodborne Prince. So 1/6. We need either another Instill Life, or we need either an Instill Life. He's gonna go up to 7, so we need he's gonna go up to 7, so we need Ambushing Strike or Word of Vigor. Oh, the Fae of Charm top deck is so good. I think, yeah, we just win, guys. Attack. Fae of Charm, take the 4/4. Swing in for 6. Tireless March. Readies everyone. Attack. Oh, just for lulz, we're gonna take the 7/7. We're gonna swing in. Ah, this feels so good. Oh, that was a hell of a game, guys, and I think I'm gonna end it there. So, that was. I can't even. Anyway, that was a hell of a game. At any rate, that's how the game the deck runs, guys. That was kind of, you know, living on a prayer, flying on fumes sort of deal, but you know, we stuck in it and we got that win. Oh man, that's just too funny. I'm marking out over here. So this, I don't really feel that this is the best use for Hermelion. I really feel like his power is suited for two things. One, suited really well for in a kind of a very aggressive deck that plays probably soldiers. You know, so you can go turn 1 spearmen, turn 2 infantry, turn 3 or turn 4 maybe with the spark. You play what's it called, the tactician. You swing for a lot. The next turn, you know, you play, or you have a bunch of creatures on board, really strong creatures. You swing, you're ready, and you swing again, kind of like what I did to win the game. Or the other use that can be, or the other big use for Hermelion's ability is attacking with your creatures, especially if you've got a bunch of lifebound creatures, or you have an Antriel in play, you know, to gain a bunch of life, to trade into your opponent's creatures, and then ready them all and end your turn, because readying them allows them to block. So being able to attack and block with a control deck, I feel, is going to be really strong. A lot of people are focusing more on the win potential of his ability, which I can understand. You know, anything that helps you win the game faster or more effectively is absolutely something that you want to aim for. But I also think he could find his place in maybe a mid-range or a control deck, and that would be really cool. I'm going to try to do kind of my next 5 videos are going to be decks using the new heroes. I have, as you can see, I have one for Elric, and I think I have one for Kronos, but Kronos might change because his ability is kind of, well, crap. It doesn't look like it on the surface, but when you actually go to activate his ability, seeing as the I think it's, as I remember, the ravens that he summons can only get buffed the turn they're summoned, which is really weird and really kind of bad. So we'll see exactly what happens with him. We did have a patch today, but it was just, as they call it, a housekeeping patch. Fixed a couple of bugs, a couple of UI issues. So really, it didn't have any impact on the game whatsoever. Although it did fix the Karthos bug, where if Karthos if your opponent double trades into Karthos, with like 2/2/2s, then before today's patch, you didn't gain any life. So that's pretty much the only game changer that happened today. But at any rate, you guys can have a lot of fun with this deck. I know I do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a combo deck. What can you do? Combo decks either work or they don't. Like I said before, pretty much Tornado Outbreak is the only way to deal with back row creatures, and that's a bit of an issue. I really feel like with the slower game, with the way Spellweaver has slowed down, that back support row creatures like Disciple of Zash, like Moon Priestess, are going to have a much bigger impact on the meta than they did before. So that's just me. That's my experience in some of my playtesting that I've done. So we will see exactly how that plays out. But you guys can have fun with this deck. I know I did. This deck is still kind of a work in progress. This deck came to me from The.Vortex on the forums, and he wanted me to help him test it, and I did test it. I tested it quite a bit against, well, you guys saw my games with the Fuzz and a couple other of my friends that I playtest with. Like I said, it works. I've experimented with cards like War Fanfare and some other kind of buff spells, but Word of Vigor is just kind of the win, just the best of them all. Primarily because, like I said, if you can go turn 2 or even hell turn 1, oh no, you can't do that. Turn 2 Dwarf Musketeer, and then the following turn do a Word of Vigor on Dwarf Musketeer, it turns him into a 3/2 ranged without the Shadow Step Assassin drawback of having to pay 1 mana to keep him on the board. So this is a really good combo. It can really just help you own the board early game. So that's kind of your ideal opener. I didn't get it in any of my games, but what are you going to do? I also, game 1, didn't see any Ancient Treant or Fae of Charm, which kind of sucked. But so you guys kind of saw just how much of an impact Fae of Charm has in this deck. Being able to steal your opponent's creatures twice in 1 turn, you guys saw that basically let me win the game. You know what I mean? It's because I did that, or because I topped the Fae of Charm and was able to use her ability twice in 1 turn, is what let me win the game. If he didn't play that Thunderstorm Titan, just for example, and I took his 7/7 twice, then with the Cavalry Field Captain, that was 18 damage in 1 turn because of Fae of Charm. Ridiculous combo potential with this deck, but like you guys saw, it can be kind of picked apart, and if you lose board control, if you lose that that ability to attack practically every turn, you can really lose tempo, and once you've lost tempo in this deck, you can just sputter and die. So, I mean, you guys saw that in game 1. You guys also saw that in game 2, but a lucky top deck won me game 2. Let's admit it. I won because of a lucky top deck. Although, to be fair, a lot of people, something that happens in TCGs is a lot of people say, oh, it was just a lucky top deck. But there's also something called playing to your outs. Playing to your outs refers to putting yourself, if you've got choices to make, in exactly how to play a turn or a couple turns, and you're in dire straits, you're in a position where it's very unlikely that you win. What a lot of the pros in Magic, in Hearthstone, in a lot of card games will do is they'll do something called playing to their outs. They know the only way they win is to top deck this card. You know what I mean? The only way I won that game was I drew either an Ambushing Strike, or I guess Word of Vigor would have done it too, or a Fae of Charm. So I needed to draw into one of those, and knowing I had a Cavalry Field Captain on board that could attack, I basically played to the outs of, when I played that in Still Life, I knew to myself, unless he plays a Power Seeker, Cavalry Field Captain is kind of my win condition. So I'm gonna bring back a bunch of bait. I mean, the Fae of Charm obviously came out because it helped me helped me push towards victory. But the reason I played got the Elite Vanguard off of the Instill Life and played the other one was I played a lot of bait. If he had swung for my face and pretty much ignored my dudes, I would have been in a lot more trouble. And I knew if I brought out the Fae of Charm, not only would it help me advance my win to the win, but it also would bait him into playing a certain way. So I knew at that point that when he passed play back to me and he didn't play anything that could block Cavalry Field Captain, I knew what my outs were, and those were the same outs that I had the turn before, even though I had Fae of Charm and Elite Vanguards in play. So something to keep in mind for the people who are newer to TCGs. You can be in a really bad position where a lucky top deck does win it, but if you put yourself in that position, and when you find yourself in that position, you kind of got to go all in on that lucky top deck. You put yourself in a position to where your top deck wins you the game is a lot better than, trying to just see what you draw and hoping you can do something with it. I know maybe my explanation didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I hope it helps someone. So at any rate, guys, I've rambled. What would I change about this deck? I have absolutely no idea. I really like the way it works. I never really have used Antriel in any of the games that I've played. I understand she's really strong, she's really big body, and she's got Lifebound to give all your other creatures. But maybe she could be replaced for some more like mid to early game creatures. Just my opinion. I don't know how impactful she is in this deck because I've never drawn her in this deck. I mean, I drew her in that one game, but it was way more important for me to have the Shrine in my hand than to play her. Basically, by the time she comes up to play, I've either won or lost the game. So that's probably the only change I would make to the deck. Not that I don't like the deck, I really love the deck. But if I were to change anything, that's what it would be. Now, if you like the video, guys, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, the whole nine, I believe in a couple months we'll be getting our Steam green light. So the game will have its new tutorials. It'll have its new battlefield that they've been teasing us with. And I expect one or two more big balancing patches before we go straight to Steam. So the reason I say that is because that Steam release is going to be the big influx of new players, because a lot of people who still haven't heard about this game will hear about it through Steam. They'll go on Steam and say, hey, what's Spellweaver? Let me try it, and they'll play it. So at any rate, guys, the reason I mention all this is because anything you do to support my channel, by sharing my videos, by liking my videos, by making my videos more popular on YouTube, the more popular you can make Spellweaver. So, it's the same spiel I give at the end of every one of my videos. But at any rate, that's going to do it for me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. The games were fun, but the second game was more fun, let's be honest. So, I hope you guys have a great day. May the cards rise to meet you, and bring good RNG to your enemies' enemies.